Welcome to Tips for Gamers. Today we're going to be talking about halfback ratings released for Madden 23 by EA. And it's still a little bit weird because you're seeing no 99 overalls, and there's got to at least be one. I mean, the NFL is not going backwards. It's going forwards. It's more athletic than it's ever been, ever. And I just don't understand why there's not a 99 overall. I mean, it's even how the halfback position is being shaped is transforming like we've never seen before, where in previous years you would see to where there was one dominant halfback and like it was like, well, that's the guy. That was their starter, and the second string just really wasn't known that much. He'd come in every now and then. Now it's like you're seeing the split back, this split back package that's continuously taking over each one of these teams, and you need it because guys are just not staying healthy. I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey, who was getting all the carries, injury. You got Derrick Henry, who, it's going to catch up with you, because here's the thing. You got Ezekiel Elliott. When he came into the NFL and he was doing so amazing, they gave him the ball so many times that it doesn't matter how good this guy is, because Ezekiel Elliott is top 3 halfbacks when he's healthy. There's no question. He's right there with Christian McCaffrey on just level of deadliness. But the problem is when you give these guys the ball as many times as you give them the ball, they're going to get injured. So, I still think the overalls need to be higher in just general terms, because seeing a 97 overall is the highest overall in the NFL right now is just weird. It doesn't make sense. I would make Derrick Henry a 99. I just would. He's not a power back. A lot of people think he's a power back. He's not. He's an elusive back with a cannon of a stiff arm. Most of the time when guys get launched from trying to tackle him, it wasn't due to his shoulder pads. It was due to his arm, freaking stiff arming the piss out of the guy. So I'd put him as a 99. I don't see an issue with that whatsoever. Christian McCaffrey, I'd put him as a 98. Honestly, I would put him anywhere from 98 to a 97. But here's the difference here. Is Christian McCaffrey, he needs another back. He needs to split carries, or the same thing's going to happen that's been happening with this guy. He's going to be injured. But I think Nick Chubb, Christian McCaffrey, and Jonathan Taylor all need to be the same overall, and whether we agree to have him as a 98 or a 97, whatever it is, stick with it. But I honestly, my true belief is I would put all these 3 at a 98. I know it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but I would do it because I don't see Derrick Henry is that much better than these 3 guys. I see Derrick Henry as a beast. Obviously, he's a step ahead when it comes to running, but these other guys, they're definitely comparable in a lot of regards. I think Nick Chubb is an absolute monster and so hard to bring down. Christian McCaffrey is just like your do-it-all back. Jonathan Taylor is just a dog. By the way, the Chiefs passed up on him, and you guys could have gotten him, but you didn't. And you drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so he was right there for you to grab, Chiefs, and you missed him. Dalvin Cook, I think Dalvin Cook's honestly more around the 96. I think Joe Mixon's probably around the 94, 95. Let us know what you guys think, too, if you guys think that any of these, would be different. Alvin Kamara, I think when Drew Brees retired, Alvin Kamara, you saw some of the pizzazz, the how they were operating Alvin Kamara. You saw that kind of dip because he was just so deadly with the screens, in the receiving game, and with Jameis Winston there, you're not seeing that same deadly presence. So I don't think he's actually gone down in overall. I just think that his production's gone down, so Madden dropped him. Aaron Jones, phenomenal. I think that you could put these guys in the 93 range, to be honest, 92 maybe for Jones. Austin Eckler, guy out of Colorado. I don't really see him as an 88. Personally, I see him as around a 90. But, I'm just shifting all these guys. Ezekiel Elliott, I know he's had a string of injuries. He's, it's been bad for him. When he's healthy, I think he's a 95, 96. When he's playing to his full ability. But I also think the Cowboys they bought a Viper and then they used it for everyday use, instead of, having a more specialized routine with it. And I think that they hurt Ezekiel Elliott. And that's my personal belief on that. I think they hurt him. Josh Jacobs, power back. It's been hard for him, but I still think he's like an 88. 89 range around there. Leonard Fournette, he's good. I really wouldn't move him above this. I think 87, they actually got that correct. I think Kareem Hunt's a little bit higher than 86. I think he's around that Leonard Fournette. I don't think Leonard Fournette is better than Kareem Hunt. I don't. I think Saquon Barkley being at an 86 is just so strange to me. Because Saquon Barkley, you always think of the guy as like, okay, well, when's he going to take back off and be a beast, right? I mean, do you really believe he's an 86, or do you think he's just been injury prone because the Giants have done what the Cowboys did, what the Titans are doing with Derrick Henry, what the Panthers did with Christian McCaffrey, where they're running their dudes into the ground? I mean, that's what's happening. I mean, the Browns are like one of the only teams that's like, well, we're going to go pick up two of the best guys so that we can have these split carries, and it helps keep them healthy. But even those guys were getting injured. So, I mean, it's really tough. When I think he's healthy and he's doing well, I think he's, right up there with the other guys. I really do. That's what's so crazy about these halfbacks is you're talking Saquon Barkley, you're talking even Josh Jacobs here. These two, it's a little bit harder because of the system that they're in, so I can't really compare them, but I think individually they could be that way. But any one of these guys, right, Ezekiel Elliott, Christian McCaffrey, any one of these guys could just blow up in a single season and be like, wow, he's right now, he's just deadly. He's, any one of these guys could get 2,000 yards is what it seems like. Najee Harris, pretty good. I think maybe you could bump that slightly. But, I mean, he's a good halfback. Cordero Patterson, though, this is hilarious. I love this. He used to be a wide receiver. No one was really giving him that much credit. Switches to halfback, and he does it on the Falcons of all teams. And it's cool to see that he's getting an 85. I think he's around that. I could see within 2 points up, not below. I wouldn't go anything below 85, but if you wanted to go higher than 85, I think you're within a 2 point, maybe an 86. But I wouldn't go much higher than that. David Montgomery is a beast, but this guy is just not the guy who's going to get the explosive amount of yards because although he is fast, he's really known for breaking tackles. Very, very, very explosive when someone tries to hit him. James Robinson, I think this is fine, but also I think the Jaguars are just not in a really great position to produce a high-end halfback until things change. So I don't really care what halfback they have at the moment. I think it's going to be hard for them because even Leonard Fournette, when he was on the Jaguars, you saw him start to drop over the years, and then he leaves, and then he starts to get better. So I think that's a Jaguars problem more than it is an individual player problem. Cam Akers, a guy that can jump up, a guy that can go down. And so an 83, can't really disagree with that. Chris Carson, I think he's right there too. I think that's fine there. Melvin Gordon, I don't see an issue with this because Melvin Gordon he's just not done better ever since he left the Chargers. It was kind of just like, all right, he kind of just didn't meet the expectations that we all thought from him of running back coming out of Wisconsin. Damian Harris, I think that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. Williams, don't have an issue with that. Miles Sanders. These guys here, J.K. Dobbins, I think J.K. Dobbins, out of most of these guys, you could probably add Singletary in that as well. I think these guys have a high threshold, the 88 overall. I think J.K. Dobbins' ability this year to get to an 88, I think he could have done it last year if he didn't get injured because J.K. Dobbins is just... I mean, he's a very good halfback. What he did at Ohio State was amazing. Ohio State brings on really good guys, and J.K. Dobbins did very well, and I think J.K. Dobbins could do very well in the Ravens, and last year, if he stayed healthy, he could have been an 88 overall. I think James Conner is a guy who has high upside too, but it's his play style that you're not going to really see him, the amount of yards that he's going to get with his play styles not as high as some of the other guys. And it just isn't. He's decently fast, but he is a power back through and through. Pollard, I think that his overall might jump because Ezekiel Elliott is probably going to split carries with him because I think the Cowboys realize by now that we can't keep crushing our Viper. I mean, you don't need to drive the Viper to the store to pick up a candy bar. Leave it at home, grab the Honda. That's what I'm saying. I'm not calling Tony Pollard a Honda. I'm just saying, just think about what you're doing. A.J. Dillon, guy's a beast. Guy's a beast. I think he could get up to the upside of the 84 range. Gibson, I think that's fine for now. And going down the list, DeAndre Swift, just not quite living up to the expectations that were coming from a Georgia halfback that you were thinking, kind of like with the Wisconsin scenario. Some of these guys get drafted, and it's just like, hey, they're not doing as well. But also, is it him or is it the Lions? You know, there's questions there. I think he has high upside still. I think his speed, too, with his size, you know, he's more of a elusive guy. You're not going to see much power come out of him. So it's going to be hard because he's really got to read. He's really got to be elusive. He's got to have great ball carry vision because he doesn't have that like high-end speed where he's just going to turn and burn and smoke a cornerback or a deep back with ease to the edge. That's not going to happen for him. He's really elusive and stuff like that. So the rest of these guys, you know, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, you know, I don't disagree with this. I think you could go lower. I think it could maybe go higher. I think that his upside is like an 82. I don't see it much higher than that. Of course, we could be wrong and we could be shocked, but I think his downside could be a 76. Henderson, don't have an issue with that. Drake, don't have an issue with that. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys I don't have an issue with this. We're starting to go into the lower echelon. We'll go over the rookies, too, in a different video, but let us know what you guys think.
High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from